This will be a pretty comprehensive tutorial of how to defeat deledao if you're facing the same problem on your school network and you want to get around it. First, bit of background. deledao runs off the client server model, where it sends everything you do to the server, and then the server, with their AI garbage, determines whether or not you should be allowed to see that content. The big problem here is that if the server for some reason cannot get connections, the entire client is allowed to see whatever they want, and no teacher can see what they're doing. That is because the programmers were too lazy to implement some sort of local filter, whatever they call it. So my attack essentially puts a proxy server in the middle to intercept communications and then blocks all requests to deledao. And with this technique, you can also do more advanced things to hide this action being taken. So let's open up a tool I've made. Now, an easier way of doing this is you can just filter out the request to deledao, but this will bring a kind of a problem into your approach where teachers can see that you're offline, but your Chromebook will still be open, and thus, there's obviously some sort of issue going on. So what I've done is I've written a Python script that you can hook into MITM proxy here that does some pretty special things. If you're not familiar with MITM proxy, it's an open source tool. It's really good. I'm a big fan of it. You can use it to read the traffic of iPhone apps, because just with Chromebooks, it's pretty hard to read the traffic of iPhone apps natively unless you jailbreak the phone. And the same goes for Chromebooks, so that's why I'm using it here. Alright, so here's my little terminal. I'm going to go grab my Chromebook that I've already hooked up. The biggest challenge with this approach is that you need to have some way to connect to the proxy server. Now, my way is that I'm using a phone hotspot. My IT has correctly configured the network for the main school into not allowing you to use a proxy. So I use a hotspot and then use the proxy from there. And that actually lends to a special technique down the road here. So right now you can see what's happening is everything in red is deledao, and it's red because it's getting blocked. Let me quickly filter for deledao. Okay, there we go. So this is all deledao, it's all getting blocked. Now the interesting part about deledao that I've noticed is there is this upload data endpoint being hit. And this is where everything that you're doing goes to your teachers in tab form. So right now I'm on Discord. I'm not actually on Discord on my Chromebook, but just showing this is what's being sent to the teachers as tab information so they can close it. Right now it's blocked, so the teacher sees that you're offline. However, in my Python script, we've done a little more. If I can show this. There we go. So what you can do in the Python script, assuming you're on a unique IP address, so a unique hotspot, is go to setname.it / your full name / your email. And to prove this is, working as intended, I'm going to use a different person. I'm using Leo Clem. So let's wait. Now that I've done that, the server now knows in my script that my IP address is Leo Clem, lclem25. Where is it at? Might need to search a new tab to get upload data to fire. deledao is a pretty bad piece of software to begin with, so it doesn't really work and do what it's supposed to do half the time. There we go. Now it's uploading data. Okay, yeah, so here we can see that it is actually going to be telling the teacher that I am on Google Drive now. So it's spoofing my tabs. I think, what do I actually have open? I have an online casino, still the Discord login, and like unblocked games, which should obviously be blocked. And I'm Leo Clem. L Clem. Where's Leo Clem's name at? There it is. The one problem with this is that you cannot, or you can, but I don't know how to yet, spoof the screen. This is because it uses a WebSocket with some weird format for video sharing. So once I figure out how that is going through, then I can spoof that too. So on Tuesday, I'm going to have to go to school and unblock everything essentially and watch the network traffic throughout the day and then come back home and read the WebSocket and see what's going on in there. Last few interesting things about this. There was a is tech cyberbully endpoint being hit. It's not getting hit anymore, which makes me think they turn it off. And then small data leak here. If we allow this request to go through, you see the bad word lists. Don't really care about that. What we can see that we probably should not be able to see all the time is all the URLs that have been selectively unblocked on the dynamic whitelist by a teacher. So here you see, for example, my little wrestler son, Eric Kahn, requested New York Times games, and then Miss Mainring approved it. I call this unintentional because there is an approved time and an expiration time, and we are past the expiration point. Oh, there is one more thing. Or I guess two more small things that I will be experimenting with in the future. So right now I have no way to get into the admin portal. However, I have noticed that deledao uses very simple auth tokens to manage what's going on. Here is my auth token. Fun fact, the teacher's auth tokens, which are higher privilege and therefore should be, better hidden, are actually in the URL that they use for monitoring the stuff. So do with that what you will. I need to find the endpoints first. So I have a fuzzer running, but I'm also requesting a tech demo for a fake school so that I can get access to an admin panel and then play with it. Lastly, there might be another real vulnerability. This is a big guess, but we're going to do it right now, actually. I believe that because deledao's programmers have assumed the tab information to be sanitized, they're not looking for cross-site scripting there. Cross-site scripting is, it's like a pretty broad term, but it's really just running code in the browser that should not be run. So here is a proof of concept that allows for it to go through. I cannot type today. So if I'm using this technique and a teacher looks at my tabs and a JavaScript alert pops up at the top of their screen, I know they're vulnerable for this and I'm probably getting paid. Because with that, if you're not familiar, there's a difference between doing something arbitrarily and then doing something maliciously. In this case, if you can have arbitrary code execution, you can also have malicious code execution. So that's just a proof of cross-site scripting right there. Yeah, pretty easy to get around.